Department of Civil Engineering is part of its Faculty of Engineering. At this time, the Civil Engineering Undergraduate Study Program is accredited A by the National Accreditation Board for Higher Education. Universitas Jenderal Sudirman. The Department of Civil Engineering was established simultaneously with the Bachelor of Engineering program, which was the forerunner of the Faculty of Engineering, UNSUR. Civil Engineering UPN Veteran East Java has facilities in the form of 5 laboratories. Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. UMY's Civil Engineering Study Program is one of the first study programs held when Muhammadiyah University of Yogyakarta was established in 1981 and has received the accreditation of Grade A. Utama Karya is a construction company whose shares are 100% owned by the government of the Republic of Indonesia through the Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises or BUMN as shareholder. ADI's status as a limited liability company encourages ADI to continue to provide the best for every stakeholder during the development of ADI and the growing construction industry in Indonesia. The intensity of competition and price wars between the construction industries has made the company redefine its vision and mission. PT Waskita Karya Tbk, a state-controlled company, is an Indonesian general contractor engaged in a wide range of construction activities including highways, bridges, buildings, facilities. PT Wijaya Karya Rekayasa Konstruksi or Wikarekon is a subsidiary of PT Wijaya Karya Persero Tbk or Wika, which is designed to be an integrated, aggressive, innovative, and professional company.
A building is inseparable with rehabilitation and maintenance. Rehabilitation and maintenance in civil engineering is as important as planning and designing. Rehabilitation is defined as the effort to regain building and infrastructure's function once defected or weakened, while maintenance is the effort to keep the building and infrastructure working as planned. The Department of Civil Engineering 11 Maret University, in collaboration with the Department of Civil Engineering Mataram University, proudly present to you the 5th International Conference on Rehabilitation and Maintenance in Civil Engineering, Advanced Research and Technology for Rehabilitation and Maintenance in Civil Engineering.
Civil Engineering Department of 11 Maret University, in collaboration with other university partners, organized the 5th International Conference on Rehabilitation and Maintenance in Civil Engineering or ICRMCE. This conference is initially scheduled to hold offline in Mataram, Nusa Tenggara Barat, Indonesia. However, due to the escalating COVID-19 outbreak and the need for social distancing, we finally decided to shift the conference online. This conference is providing a forum for researchers, academicians, government agencies, consultants, and constructors to exchange experiences, technological advancement, and innovation regarding rehabilitation and maintenance of buildings and infrastructures. The previews for ICRMCE were successfully held in 2009, 2012, 2015, and the last one 2018, respectively.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th International Conference on Rehabilitation and Maintenance in Civil Engineering. In this class, Parallel Class A, and the second day. Let me introduce myself. My name is Krishna Murthy from University of Jember. I'm serving as moderator in this class. In this session, we will have about 10 presenters. It is an honor for me to be a moderator for distinguished lecturers and researchers. Hopefully, we could have a collaboration in research next time. And I think our presenters have been present in this room. We say this is 11 in this chat room, and each of them will present their presentation. Let's start. Is the Mr. Dr. Alfredo Satyanaga is in this room? Not yet. Okay. We because of the invited speaker is not yet joined in this room, we will start with the first presenter. That is Mr. Name Sukamta is in here. I'm sorry, it is. Mr. Sukamta is not yet joined in this room. Not yet, no. Oh, not yet too. So in the third presenter is Mr. Nuraji. Mr. Nuraji.
Hello.
Okay. The first is Mr. Nuraji. Please, with the title of Mr. Nuraji is from Universitas Diponegoro, Semarang, entitled Confinement of FRP and Rates to FRP Strengthen over Reinforced Concrete Beam. Before you present the paper, I hope that all the participants, if you have a question, please kindly write down in the chat room even before the presentation ends. Okay, for Mr. Nuroji, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. My name is ICRMCE. I'm from Diponegoro University. In this opportunity, I would like to present a proposed method of LFP anchorage for LFP confined over reinforced concrete beam. The authors are Nuroji, Hanaili, Situjono, Banatri Lestari, and me, Tiara Besari. We are from Diponegoro University, Semarang. The first time, I will start about my presentation from introduction. And retrofit elements of concrete structure, especially reinforced concrete beams, due to its high tensile strength. LRP can be used to increase the shear and bending capacity of structural elements. One of the problems in the last few studies was the beam failed before the LRP reached its maximum strength due to debonding. Previous studies have found that FRP sheets are debonding by average of 50% of their tensile capacity. Therefore, an additional anchor is needed so that the tensile capacity of the FRP can be used properly. Anchored system for external rebounds FRP aims to first, prevent or delay interfacial crack opening. Second, increase the total available interfacial shear stress transfer. And the last one, to provide a stress mechanism where no bone length is available beyond the critical shaking. Several studies have shown that anchorage FRP is a viable method to delay or prevent FRP debonding to concrete. The research conducted by Tujono et al. 2017 experimental testing was carried out on beams that were reinforced more with external FRP reinforcement, but debonding occurred in the stress area due to the beam bending response followed by the shear strength between the concrete and FRP. And the purpose of the study is to propose an experimental method of three FRP anchorage types in order to analyze their influence to FRP confinement over reinforced beam. The methods: specimen 15, 30, and 270 centimeter beam is utilized in this study. Figure 1 shows the unconfined beam and ZRP wrap confined beam without anchor. Three types of RRP anchorage. First, spec anchor. The spec anchor is made of ZRP string which is partially holed into the concrete cover and the rest is fine shape spread over the surface of ZRP wrap. This anchor model used the model proposed by Del Castillo with slight adjustment to the beam dimensions used in this study. Second, insertion anchors. The CPRP web edge is inserted into the concrete cover opening and filled with epoxy. The opening groove is curved to avoid the CPRP web being torn at the outside corner of the opening due to stress concentration. And third, stitch anchor. Self-purpose string is used with stitches from as shown in figure 2C. To concrete is perforated using a drill, then the anchor stitch is inserted and glued using epoxy. Setup testing. This is a picture of the setup of testing. Discussion. The three types of RP anchor are expected to be able to overcome the bonding by providing confinement to compressed concrete region of the beam. In over-reinforced beams, failure will occur due to maximum compressive strength of the concrete before the reinforcing steel yields. As a result of RP anchor use, RP can hold the compressive stress after maximum compressive strength of concrete is reached so that the ultimate load increases until the tensile reinforcement builds. FRP anchor has a role to anticipate usage of FRP bonding phenomenon, which is caused by shear stress along the interface of U-shapes of FRP and concrete. For spike and stitch anchor, the anchor space or distance is important to make sure the anchor works fine and do not leave stress concentration around the anchor hook. By comparing the three types of RP anchor, it can be seen which types of anchoring are more effective to use in beam reinforcement using FRP. Thank you for your attention. Nice, nice to meet you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Right. Thank you. The team of Mr. Nuraji. Okay, maybe the audience have any question for Mr. Nuraji with the title of paper is a proposed method of FRP anchorage for FRP confined of reinforced concrete beam. Okay. There is no. I want to ask Mr. Nuraji, what is the FRP mechanism to increase the shear strength in your research? Mr. Nuraji, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Krishnamurti. The presenter, Miss Tiara Murtisari, my student. Of course, actually, this paper is still in research concept, Dr. Krishna Murti, that will be conducted in a material and construction laboratory of civil engineering department Diponegoro University. Around 40 papers have been collected to be studied. So the discussion is still limited to literature studies, but we have hypothesis that with three concepts we propose, that the three types we propose in this paper, that is spike, inserted, and then the last one is stitch. Yes. And from the sum of paper, previous paper, so that the three type of anchorage can be raised shear strength and also bending capacity in beam. Of course, it has to be what I can say, to be done in laboratory as experimental research. And once again, this paper just literature study that have to be conducted in laboratory as experimental research. I think that I hope it can answer your question, Mr. Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Another question is okay, because there is no question from audience. I think enough for the first paper. Thank you for Mr. Nuraji, and we will the next presentation from Mr. Edi Purwanto from Universitas 11 Maret, Surakarta, the entitled Strengthening of Non-Engineered Building Beam Volume Joint to Increase Seismic Performance with Variation of Steel Plate with Strengthening of Non-Engineered Building Beam Column Joint to Increase Seismic Performance with Variation of Steel Plate width. For Mr. Edi Purwanto, the time is yours. I hope all
Good
audience
afternoon, ladies
could.
and gentlemen. First, I would like to thank the fifth International Conference on Rehabilitation and Maintenance in Civil Engineering Committee and to the other speakers. My name is Edi Purwanto. I'm a student of doctoral program in Civil Engineering Universitas Basmara Surakarta. On behalf of the team of speakers, I will present my paper through this video. I hope that the paper is useful for us. The paper that I will present is entitled Strengthening of Non-Engine Building Beam Column Joint to Increase Seismic Performance with Variation of Steel Plate Weight. My presentation will be divided into 5 parts, namely number 1, introduction, next theory, method, result, and analysis, and number 5, conclusion. Let's get started. Number 1, introduction. From figure 1 about earthquake hazard index in Indonesia and figure 2 map of regional geology of Indonesia, we can see the tectonic of Indonesia are very complex as it is a meeting point of several tectonic plates. Indonesia is located between two continental plates and two oceanic plates. Due to the location of the earthquake-prone area mentioned above, it caused many houses were damaged during the earthquake because many houses are buildings that are not built in accordance with technical principles. We categorize this building as a non-engineered building. Non-engineered building can be divided into two main categories by Teddy Boone. Condition of non-engineered building reinforcement. Number 1, the reinforcement ratio is less than 1%. Number 2, wide distance of shear reinforcement, you can see 200 millimeters, should be 100 millimeters because it is an earthquake prone area, or less than 100. And number 3, the length of anchoring is less, so that it is easy to release when there is an earthquake loads. As a result of imperfection in the use of reinforced concrete material and correct reinforcement detail, it will result in the following things, including number 1, very weak to withstand load, especially on gravity loads. Number 2, building will tend to collapse in the event of a small to moderate earthquake. And number 3, the building does not guarantee the safety of its occupant according to the rules. The rule set because it will collapse first. From figure 4, damage to building to the earthquake in Indonesia, we can see from Aceh earthquake, Yogyakarta earthquake, Padang earthquake, Lombok earthquake, and Palu earthquake. Next, number 2, theory. During the earthquake, part from the beam and column section, the beam column joint section usually becomes a weak point that causes the failure of a building. The shear force acting on the joint is equal to Vu given by the concrete and the flexural steel beam. Meanwhile, the beam shear ability is Vn, which depends on the quality of the concrete and the effective area of the joint. With the formula Vu and Vn, we can see in right side. Next, number 3, method. In this research, is to perform numerical analysis of simple portal specimen with Athena software. The completion steps are broadly divided into the following 3 parts. Number 1 is pre-processing, included input. Number 2 is run. Number 2, runs software analysis process by specifying solution parameter. And number 3 is post-processing. In the step, we get the analysis result. For example, the ability to accept load, deflection, crack width, stress, and others related to performance. From table 3, specification test object in Athena model. There are three material: concrete, reinforcement steel. Concrete model as 3D nonlinear simultaneous, reinforcement model as reinforcement, and steel plate as model as 3D bilinear steel furnaces. And from figure 6, there are four test object model. Number one is PU200 as a control and PUP200 with variation in steel plate weight. From number one with steel plate 50 millimeters, neck 100 millimeters, and the test is 150 millimeters. Number 4, next, result and analysis. From figure 7, we can see graph of the load displacement relationship on the test object model. And number 3, from table 2, we can see the test object result from load displacement and crack. We can see that PUP 250 will give the best performance from load because it can increase the loads until 14 and 50 and 60%, and displacement this object decrease displacement, and from crack also decrease the crack width. And from figure 8, from crack pattern in the test object model, you can see the crack pattern from each model. And from figure 9, we can see reinforcement stresses in the test object model from PU200 and PUP100. And from figure 10, we can see concrete stress on the test object from PU200 and PUP200. And from table 3 and table 4, we can see the ductility value and the energy dissipation. And next, number 5 is conclusion. From the test result of the PU200 and PUP200 test object model with plate variation, it can be concluded. Number 1, the increase in the load on the strengthening of the beam column joint with plate the strengthening of 50 mm by steel plate has the greatest value of the increase. For a review of the displacement, the strengthening of 50 mm with steel plates will effectively reduce the displacement. Number 3, the strengthening of steel plate with 50 mm also be able to reduce the crack width by 23.65%. From the ductility and energy dissipation value in the steel plate reinforcement model with a width of 150 mm, it has a higher value. And the fifth, in seismic load condition, the factor of the ability to accept load and withstand the smallest possible displacement is an important value because it will prevent the collapse of the building. That's is my presentation. If you have any question, please submit them via the chat column provided. Thank you for your attention and see you later.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Edi Purwanto. Maybe any question from the audience? Okay, that is from Ms. Ninyuman. Have you considered the cost spent by adding the steel plate since the non-engineered is commonly for residential house? Please, Mr. Edi Purwanto. This is the question in the chatting room. Okay, Mr. Edi. Your voice is in mute, Mr. Edi Purwanta. Still in mute.
Still unmute, Mr. Krishna. Mr. Edi still mute.
Yes. Mr. Edi, your microphone is mute, in mute.
Okay,
Please.
thank you. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I think
You
I have
used
answered.
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we use the steel plate to strengthen this beam column joint because it's uh, cheaper than other material like carbon fiber reinforced plastic on the others because it's material very easy to find in like regency as Pacitan like Pacitan or the others. More cheaper and easy.
The first is echo.
Halo, Ninyoman.
Miss Nyoman Kencanawati.
Yes, thank you for answering my question.
Okay, thank you. Is there any question? If no, if there is no question again, I think for Mr. Edi Purwanto it's enough. And then we to the next presenter, Miss Muhajirah. Miss Muhajirah with the title from Department of Civil Engineering, Mataram University, with the entitled Liquefaction Potential of Volcanic Deposits during the Lombok Earthquake in 2018. Okay, the time is yours, Ms. Muhajirah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will present a paper entitled Liquefaction Potential of Volcanic Deposit During Lombok Earthquake in 2018. Presentation outline 1. Introduction 2. Materials and method 3. Results and discussion 4. Conclusion. I'm sure we haven't forgotten the earthquake in 2018. 1. Lombok earthquake. 2. Palu earthquake. For Lombok earthquake, during 2 months, there were 4 earthquakes with a magnitude greater than 5. The liquefaction phenomenon that occurred after this earthquake were lateral spreading and sand boil. For Palu earthquake, in one day, there are 6 earthquakes with the same magnitude and greater than 5. The liquefaction phenomenon that occurred after this earthquake, 2 residential areas covered in mud, Balaroa and Petobo. Introduction. Objective. This research was conducted to determine the behavior of the volcanic deposit due to earthquake load. Second table test was used to determine the behavior of soil particles from Mataram City against cyclic loads. Liquefaction research in volcanic deposit. After the Yogyakarta earthquake in 2006, Kusumawardhani and Mase conducted a study to determine the behavior of the volcanic deposit of Mount Merapi due to cyclic loading. Kusumawardhani used a sand sample from University of Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. While the cyclic triaxial test, the sample was liquefied at a frequency of 0.1 Hz. Masa used kali opaque sand. there were 3 cyclic loads used in the second table test. All samples were liquefied. Materials and method. In this research, there are 2 materials used. 1. Mataram pumice, 2. Sand boil from Selengan village. The tests carried out on Mataram pumice include 1. Physical properties, 2. Scanning electron microscope, 3. Direct shear test, 4. Second table test, 5. Safe analysis test. The tests carried out on the sand boil material include a safe analysis test and CEM photo. Second table test equipment used in the study. Pumice samples were formed using the fluctuation method and relative density was 30%. For dynamic load, a cyclic load in the form of a sine wave is used with an acceleration amplitude of 0.38 g for 20 seconds. Pore pressure transducer is used to measure the development of pore water pressure placed on the side of the sample box at a distance of 0.1 meter, 0.25 meter, and 0.4 meter from the bottom of box. Results and discussion. The shape of pumice particle is sub-rounded to subangular. In the table, dry wake density of pumice sand is very low. Likewise, the void ratio of pumice is greater than the normal sand. Based on this CEM photo, pumice particles have many cavities. Low dry wake density of the pumice is due to a large number of cavities present in the pumice particle. Shear strength characteristic. The shorter range of soil particle size, the greater the friction angle. The size of the grain diameter contributes to the value of the shear strength of soil. The sample is not liquefied because the excess pore water pressure is not equal to the effective stress. Degradation of Mataram pumice. A shift analysis test showed that there was a reduction in particle in the first shift and the addition of particle in each subsequent shift. CEM photograph of sand boil from Selengan village. Sand boil particles have a diameter of less than 2 mm and 65% fast number 200 shift. Conclusion. 1. There was addition of fine grain from before and after second test. This indicates that pumice particles are scored on the surface. The small grain become locked between the large particle. 2. Cavity in the pumice particle is reduced seismic wave for large particle, although the gradation curve has the potential for liquefaction. The pore water pressure does not increase significantly. However, pumice particle with diameter of less than 0.075 mm undergo liquefaction because there were no many cavities in the particle. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Ms. Mahajira. And is there any question from the audience? Please, you can write it on chatting room. And before we, I would like to remind all participants to be writing to fill in the attendance list that has been shared by the committee. Okay, is there any question from all audience? Okay, before that, I want to ask to the Ms. Majira how to relate the results of the study to the probability of liquefaction, like your title, liquefaction potential of volcanic deposits during the Lombok earthquake. So I want to know how to relate the result of the study to the probability of liquefaction. Thank you. Please, Ms. Majila.
Thank you. Based on my study, I think that potential liquefaction is uh, minus for little cause many cavity in the particle is can reduce seismic wave uh, during earthquake. That is very little, very little probability.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there any question from the audience? Maybe if you didn't want to write it in chatting room, you can ask. Okay, okay, because as there is no question, I think enough for Ms. Majira, and we to the next presenter, that is Ms. Sumiati Gunawan. Sumayati Gunawan from Department of Civil Engineering, 11 Maret University, with entitled of Additional Vertical Movement of the Single Pile Foundation with Combined Loads. Is there ready? Okay, Ms. Sumayati. Okay, time is yours.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to present the results of our research. My name is Sumiati Gunawan from Atma Jaya Yogyakarta University, currently pursuing doctoral studies at 11 Maret Surakarta University. Together with my mentors, the Dr. Niken, Dr. Bambang, and Prof. Yusef Musli, the title of our paper is Additional Vertical Movement of the Single Pile Foundation with Combined Load. Pile foundation with combined load are generally analyzed parallelly. However, on the site, the two loads work simultaneously. In Indonesia particularly, loading tests are not simultaneously. Therefore, it does not account for the additional vertical displacement and lateral deflection. In this paper, note 15, previous study reported that the reduction of lateral deflection in pile foundation under combined load due to axial load. Pile foundation with combined load show an increase in lateral bearing capacity along with an increase in vertical load. Lateral loading was discovered not to be causing any vertical movement, but has the ability to increase the movement in combined load. Although previous studies reported that the axial load reduced deflection due to lateral load, but something new was found by the preliminary 2D finite element method with Praxis 2D 8.6. Has been proven that below a certain point, lateral load also increase vertical movement in the load combination. Therefore, further research will be investigate the analysis and experimental laboratory effect of vertical displacement on single pile foundation as the effect of combined load. The process of research was in 3 stages. Stage 1, we try to do preliminary research analysis, modeling of a single pile foundation using the axisymmetry menu on 2D FEM. Presented in Table 1 and Table 2, variation of soil parameter and variation of load on 2D FEM. And we do laboratory test experiment with box. The sample pile foundation is number 1, is loaded with vertical, horizontal, and combination load, recorded vertical and horizontal movement, and given load presented in Table 3. We validation by the 3D finite element method with Praxis 3D Foundation 1.1 with soil data and loading tests on several projects in field presented in Table 4 and Table 5. From the three states, we get the result from 2D frame, vertical displacement with combined load. It can be seen that the average results are almost the same, that PU-HU ratio, PU is vertical load and HU is horizontal load. PU-HU ratio is about 5. Which is the limit for the increase in vertical movement due to a combine of load. From the experiment laboratory tests are almost the same from the 2D frame result, that PU-HU ratio is about 5. And from the 3D frame, the result of 3D frame with soil data and loading test data in field confirm the result of 2D frame and laboratory result that PU-HU ratio is about 5, which is the limit from the increase in vertical movement due to a combined load. If PU divided by HU is less than 5, lateral load will cause a significant increase in vertical movement in the load combination. Although previous studies reported that the axial load reduced deflection due to lateral load, but by the preliminary 2D frame has been proven that the lateral load also increase vertical movement in the load combination. Moreover, something new was found with the preliminary 2D frame analysis, that below a certain point, that is PU divided by HU is less than 5, the lateral load will cause a significant increase in vertical movement due to the combination of the load. When PU divided by HU is greater than 5, the horizontal load has no effect on vertical displacement. Following up on the preliminary 2D frame analysis test above, the research was continued with experiment laboratory test and 3D frame. It showed things that confirm the same thing, not much different from 2D frame, that below a certain point, lateral loads also increase vertical movement in the load combination. When PU divided by HU is greater than 5, the horizontal load has no effect on vertical displacement. But when PU divided by HU is less than 5, the lateral load will cause a significant increase in vertical movement due to the combine of the load. This, therefore, needs to be considered in calculating and planning the pile foundation bearing capacity. Thus, the presentation, the result of this study, and thank you.
Okay, thank you for Ms. Sumiati Gunawan. Is there any? There is from Nyoman. What is the mechanism why the ratio of 5 becoming the onset of the movement? Please, Ms. Sumiati. You still mute? Okay. The microphone is in mute. Ms. Sumiati.
Oh, sorry. From the preliminary 2D frame, we found PU-HU ratio is about 5. There is a limit for increase vertical movement in the pile foundation. If PU-HU ratio greater than 5, the lateral load has no effect for the vertical movement. That is, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Sumiati. And maybe I want to know how you can explain how to add the vertical movement mentioned in your paper in reality in the field. Maybe you can explain about that.
In the field, from data in the field, we found data, loading test data from the loading test we enter the data in the field into Plaxis 3D Foundation 1.1. Then we gradually increase the load until collapse on vertical load, on horizontal load only, pure, and on combination load. Every burden given, we record vertical horizontal movement, and we compare with the result of the original loading test in the field and the laboratory and to defend.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Sumiati Gunawan. Okay, I think it's enough for Mrs. Sumiati Gunawan, and we go to the next presenter. That is Mr. Mudiono from Department of Civil Engineering, University of Mataram, with the entitled Numerical Simulation of Slope Stability for Soil Embankment Reinforced with Inclined Bamboo Piles. Okay, Mr.
Thank you.
Mudiono.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna. Sorry, this video I think is wrong.
Oh, it's wrong.
Yes, right. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Krishna. This time the presenter is the second author, Mrs. Sulistiawati. Please speak on this video. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Prater, I think Prater has changed the title, yes?
Yes, right.
What title?
Numerical simulation of slope stability for soil embankment reinforced with inclined bamboo pile.
Numerical.
It is right. Right the video.
Okay. Okay.
Please switch on.
Okay. Okay. Operator, please. It's time for Mr. Mudiono.
For the chance that given to me, it is an honor to be presenter in this conference. I am Tri Sulistiawati as the second author on this paper. I'm from Department of Civil Engineering, University of Mataram. In this opportunity, I would like to present about numerical simulation of slope stability for soil embankment reinforced with inclined bamboo piles. So this is the outline of our presentation, divided in 5 parts. First, introduction, shear strength reduction, finite element method, numerical simulation, result and discussion, and the last conclusion. Okay, let's start with introduction. Background of this study. Slope stability is an important parameter when designing embankment roads, highways, dams, and other civil engineering structures. Some triggers that causes the failures of slope: poor quality soil material, degradation properties of soil material will decrease in the shear strength of the soil, so it needs slope reinforcement. Several slope reinforcement techniques widely applied are geosynthetics, soil nailing, concrete or steel mini pile, concrete block, etc. But the technologies that require skilled labor and relatively expensive. As we know that bamboo is a natural material widely available globally, especially in Asia. Bamboo also green building material, renewable, sustainable, typically be harvested in less than 3 to 4 years and relatively cheaper. Bamboo comb Then the calamus asper or bamboo patung in Bahasa provided with diameter 6 to 15 centimeter, length until 13 meter, also have highly tensile strength almost similar with soft steel reinforcement. So that's why we can use inclined bamboo pile as an alternative material used in slope reinforcement. Next, this is some literature review. The research about utilization of bamboo piles for slope stability were conducted by several researchers. Generally, there are two methods for slope stability analysis. First, limit equilibrium methods such as ordinary, Bischoff, Janbu, Spencer, Morganson, Price. But limitation of the limit equilibrium method, the critical slip surface has to be estimated. The second is numerical analysis method such as finite element method. The advantage of the finite element method is no potential slip surface was estimated in advance, and stress-strain correlation in the slope can also be considered. The aim of this numerical study is to analyze the performance of the slope reinforced with inclined bamboo pile as an alternative material used in slope reinforcement. The variation of diameter bamboo pile was modeled to evaluate influence inclined bamboo piles to the safety factor. More column material model shear strength reduced by a factor of safety can be determined from the equation below. There are three soil parameters: cohesion, friction angle, and dilatation angle. More column shear strength parameters and these values can be input into the Abacus student edition software and then analyzed. This is the input of soil material in Abacus student edition. There are several types of criteria for determining the failure slope model: numerical iteration, non-convergence, suddenly change displacement, plastic strain, or equivalent plastic strain. Let's turn to numerical simulation. This is step-by-step modeling with Abacus student edition. There are 3 steps. First, model geometry. The geometry of homogeneous embankment slope model was typically 20 meter in height and 35 meter long at the base with an inclination of 33.69 degrees. The bamboo pile with 5 meter length, and the diameter variation are 6, 10, and 15 centimeter. For them, there is place 2 in the edge, 1 in the middle, and insert perpendicular to the slope model plane. Material properties: there are 2 material, soil material and bamboo pile. Soil material assumed to be undrained and saturated clay. There is elastic plastic more column model, and the parameter of modulus elasticity, Poisson ratio, cohesion, friction angle, and unit weight. The dilation angle is 0 degree because saturated clay and undrained. Bamboo piles, there is modulus elasticity and Poisson ratio. And the last step is meshing. There are 1,185 element type CPA3 for soil and P21 for bamboo piles. Boundary condition, roller in beside and fixed in bottom. For loading, just gravity load. Okay, let's continue to the next slide. It's result and discussion. From this chart and this table, factor of safety for clay embankment slope unreinforced increased slightly from 1.298 to 1.5 after reinforced with bamboo pile. The factor of safety depends on the diameter of bamboo piles. Larger diameter of bamboo piles, the factor of safety were increased. Okay, next, the equivalent plastic screen. There are 4 slope model. Slope model unreinforced. Slope model reinforced with inclined bamboo piles diameter 6 cm, 10 cm, and 15 cm. The red color of this is the red color is shown the critical slip surface. The different contours shown in the figures indicate the location where the slope failure started. Okay, this is the last slide. Conclusion. The conclusion from the simulation of the slope model by using Abacus student edition software were obtained as follows. The factor of safety of the slope depends on the diameter of bamboo pile. When the bamboo pile were inserted in the slope, it also changed the stress strain and failure mechanism. The equivalent plastic strain contour indicate the location of the potential failure of the slope. The shear strength reduction finite element method can be used as an alternative for slope stability analysis of soil embankment slope model reinforced with inclined bamboo piles. So that's all about our presentation. We will try to answer all questions you may have. Well, thank you very much for your great attention. May all those we have shared be beneficial for all of us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for Ms. Sri Sulistiawati and Mr. Nudiono. Okay, is there any question from the audience? Oh, not yet. Okay, before that, I want to ask about there are difficulties in bamboo treatment to maintain the condition of embankment soil. What is this taken into the consideration of research, Mr. Nudiono?
Thank you. Your question, Miss Ani Rataningsih, right?
Oh yes.
Yes, actually, in the field is many species of bamboo. But in this research, in this numerical study, we use Dendra calamus asper, in bahasa is bambu betung, because the diameter is bigger than another species and have many structure in civil engineering. I think in traditional or many structure in for hotel, like I think is more than good or better than another species. That's right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nudiono. And I have another question I want to ask about the treatment, bamboo treatment to maintain the condition of embankment. Is that you use it for the consideration of the research?
Yes, in the field or laboratory must be treatment because this is only simulation as alternative and how to show performance of the free licensing of a bagus student version. I think is rarely for this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mudiono. Okay, I think it's enough for Mr. Mudiono and Tri Sulistyawati, and we will go to the next presenter. That is Mr. Dimas Yosi Priyambodo from Civil Engineering University of Indonesia, Jakarta, with the title is Development of Blockchain-Based Knowledge Management System Model in APC Project, APCX Project Case Study. Please, Mr. Dimas Yosi Priyambodo, it's time is yours.
Okay. Thank you, moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Dimas Yosi Priyambodo. I'm first author for this paper. This paper title is Development of Blockchain-Based Knowledge Management System Model in EPC Project to Improve Project Time Performance. EPC projects are a complex type of construction project and have different character from ordinary construction project, so that project delay are a phenomenon that often occurs in EPC project. EPC projects tend to be labor intensive and knowledge intensive. Input and output in EPC project management involve a variety of knowledge and intellectual creative activities. So, EPC project management process is a knowledge management process. And then knowledge management system aims to improve the quality of human resources in an organization by improving communication between all parts of the organization and increasing knowledge mastery by transferring knowledge. And blockchain technology intervention can the application of knowledge management system with a blockchain-based system is expected to be a solution for needs of distributed knowledge transfer, high-speed transfer of knowledge and information, fast access to knowledge, and high information security. And the goals of the research is implementation blockchain-based knowledge management system for EPC project. Theoretical study consists of knowledge management, follow with Tiwana's knowledge management framework and Zek knowledge management framework cycle, and blockchain. Blockchain has become a revolutionary paradigm in record-keeping system and has been seen as an emerging technology in the industry and research community. Research stage consists of start, literature review, data collection, selection and assigning case study, needs analysis strategy, and knowledge management system scenario on EPC project, creating infrastructure design and system architecture, and knowledge management system team design. Implementation of the development of blockchain-based knowledge management system model, and then expert validation, and the last is blockchain-based knowledge management system model. And the next step is build a knowledge management system scenario analysis. We put one example in basic engineering activities in department engineering. Knowledge management system can be implemented is sharing document, discussion, sharing idea, workshop. And the SAGI model consists of socialization, externalization, and internalization. And blockchain feature can be implemented are smart contract, decentralized, consensus mechanism, and immutable. And then infrastructure design and architecture system. Step 1, input form. The system create blocks as transaction representation. Step 2, nodes validate transaction. The system through smart contract will verify the correctness of knowledge. Step 3, user nodes earn point, nodes earn reward from the verification process and add blocks to the blockchain. Step 4, the system provides recommendation for nodes according to enter keyword. And step 5, the system will provide recommendation for three priorities of nodes according to keyword. And this is a business model of blockchain-based knowledge management system. Key partners can use this platform is EPC project contractor, EPC project owner, EPC project planning consultant, EPC project supervisory consultant, and crypto asset service provider. And key activities is knowledge gathering and processing and platform development. And this is capturing blockchain feature to implemented blockchain knowledge management system on EPC project. Discussion after get expert validation. From the result of expert validation, it was found that several blockchain features can be implemented into a blockchain-based knowledge management system. Consists of decentralized consensus mechanism, smart contract, immutable, high security, and transparency can be implemented at blockchain knowledge management system on EPC project. And then after analysis with NVivo software by identifying sentiment, we get the result moderately positive at 44.19% and very positive 55.81%. From the evaluation of the existing knowledge management system by adding the implementation blockchain technology and after validation by experts, it can be concluded that the decentralized consensus mechanism, smart contract, high security, transparency, immutable feature of blockchain technology can be implemented in knowledge management system of EPC project. Then, blockchain technology implemented in the knowledge management system of EPC project gave a moderately positive result of 44.19% and a very positive 55.81%. Analytical model with Tiwana framework, designing and implementing blockchain-based KMS model can produce KMS prototypes that can be applied to support the implementation of EPC project, so as to improve knowledge management and knowledge sharing among EPC project stakeholders. The last, the development of a blockchain-based knowledge management system model can be applied to several other projects outside of the EPC project. Blockchain unique features are expected to improve project performance. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Mr. Dimas Desi Priambodo. Maybe any question from the audience? Okay, we look for the question. Maybe I want to know what is the difference between expert blockchain 1, expert blockchain 2, and the expert KMS. Please, your question.
Okay, thank you, moderator. The expert is consists of two expert of blockchain with their special experience, and the one expert is from knowledge management system who expert in EPC project. So to assess or evaluate this concept, we propose the concept to experts to get the validation.
Okay, thank you. That is from Mrs. Anik Ratnaningsi. What is the meaning of moderate negative or moderate positive?
Oh yes, we evaluate this analytic the result from expert because the data is qualitative data. We analyze with software NVivo, and from NVivo software coding to identify sentiment that what the model is approved in EPC project or not, and the result is moderately positive. That means the model can implement to EPC project. So if the moderate negative is cannot to implement the EPC project model.
Okay, thank you. I think it's enough for the presentation of the Mas Yossi, and we go to the next presenter is Mr. Patricius Faldoni. Are you in?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. It is in ID paper 095, Mr. Patricius Faldoni from Department of Civil Engineering, ITS. Oh. And the title is Evaluation of the Public Procurement Principle Implementation in Surabaya Construction Project. Okay, Mr. Patricius, it's time for yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patricius Sandi. I would like to say thank you for coming my presentation. And in this opportunity, I would like to present our research in the evaluation of the public procurement principle implementation in Surabaya construction project. The purpose of this presentation is to provide an overview how the procurement principle have been applied in the public construction project in Surabaya, Indonesia so far. In this presentation, there are 5 main sections that will be presented. We start with introduction, then the review, result methodology, result analysis, and conclusion. Let's start with the first section, introduction. What is the background of the research? Construction is the most important sector to meet the infrastructure needs. In the process, construction must ensure the integration of the interests of all stakeholders. Therefore, the construction must be planned and carried out professionally by competent party, which can be done through the procurement system. On the other hand, in the case of public procurement, the implementation of the system, the using of public fund as a source of funding is really vulnerable to public trust. So it must be ensured that the implementation of public procurement must comply with the principles. Surabaya was then chosen because it's one of the biggest cities in Indonesia, which of course has massive development and a national pilot for implementation of electronic waste procurement in Indonesia. Next, literature review. To shorten the time, I will only describe a few points. Public procurement is a government system to obtaining goods and services needed for public programs and projects. One of them is construction procurement related to purchase of construction services. There are 7 public procurement principles in Indonesia. They are efficient, effective, transparent, open, competitive, fair, and accountable. Efficient is related to optimize the use of resources. Effective related to the highest benefit of the resources. Transparent related to the easily access and freely available of the information. Open related to the providing or competent providers the opportunity to be involved. Competitive related to the avoiding single bidder. Fair is related to equal treatment, and the last one, accountable, is related to the control mechanism by clear and structured chains of responsibility. Next, let's move to the research methodology. There are 48 indicators represent procurement principle in this research. I should be explained that we have conducted a preliminary survey involved 4 experienced experts to obtain relevant indicators for this research. We also compiled a questionnaire for the survey involved 30 respondents and 5-point Likert scale style questionnaire, namely importance part and performance part, with their own 5-point Likert scale, and then we analyze with important performance analysis by comparing the importance and performance of each indicator by calculating the gap and level of conformity. How about the result? This is a table display that contains a summary of indicator for each principle. Then for example, efficient has 7 indicators, effective has 7 indicators. Okay, then P or performance shows the perseverability. I score or importance score shows the expectation of the indicator should be. Then the gap score, so the difference score between P or performance and I or importance. And the last one is conformity level in percent, so conformity of the 2 achievements. For efficient principle with its 7 indicators, the gap score is minus 0.6 and the conformity level is 87.91%. The score of gap was negative or minus, and with the effective and the others principle, the efficient conformity level is less than 100%, same with the effective and the others principle. A negative value or minus score indicates that there is still a gap between performance and importance, or P and I. Ideally, the score is 0 or positive. If 0 or positive, it means that the applied performance, which has failed, has exceeded expectations. Similarly with the conformity level, if it less than 100%, indicates that the improvement is still needed in order to satisfy all parties. But this deserves appreciation. You all can see the score of efficient, effective, transparent, open, competitive, fair, and accountable. The score for gap score a minus or negative, and conformity level at less than 100%. But this deserves appreciation. The percentage and the gap obtained are quite high and good. Okay, for the overall result, the score is quite high, good enough, but still have a negative or minus on the gap value, and the percentage of conformity level is less than 100%. Overall result, open principle ranks first, followed by competitive, fair, efficient, effective, transparent, and accountable on the last rank. For overall principle, the gap score is minus 0.5 and the conformity level at 87.55%. Conclusion. Based on the result of this study, the implementation of the principle in Surabaya should be appreciated. The score obtained is quite high, but it's a hope that in the future it can be improved to reach the maximum score in order to satisfy all parties. Thank you for listening. May all this we have shared be beneficial for all of us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Patricio Scardoni. And then is there any question from audience? It's about the evaluation of the public procurement principle implementation in Surabaya construction project. You will? Okay, not yet. Okay, I want to know how to make improvement or changes so that the procurement process can run better related to the principle of effective, efficient, and the others. Maybe you can explain about that.
Thank you so much for giving me a time for presentation. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, clear.
Okay, future analysis is expected to be carried out with advanced IPA. Based on the research, basically all the indicators or all principles have the potential to be improved. However, there needs to be consideration about the resources capacity for all of them. Further analysis is needed to find out which one are the most important and urgent for improvement. For example, by the regulation, the management, especially for the top management supports.
Thank you. That's good answer. Is there any question from the audience? Oh, nothing. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Patricius Valdoni.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
We will go to the next presenter for Mr. Hussein bin Muhammad. You will present live or use recording?
I'm gonna present live.
Okay. For this is Mr. Hussein is from Kuwait Institute for Scientific Research Kuwait, which the title is Rubberized Asphalt Pilot Road Trial in Kuwait. Okay, Mr. Hussein, time is yours.
Thank you. First of all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, my brothers and sisters in the lovely and amazing Far East. Hello, everyone. Can I have the chance to remotely control the PDF document presentation before I start? I cannot hear you.
Sure, I give your remote to you. Or you will present, share your screen self.
I am sharing. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Please share your screen. Okay, Mr. Hussein.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Operator, please. Okay, that is. Okay, you can see.
I can't. I'm not able to share.
Not able.
I really apologize for that. I apologize for that. Your time is valuable. Thank you for your time.
Never mind. Is that it from your screen? That is.
That is my screen?
Yes. I think it's, yes.
That's not my
screen. Oh, not you. Mr. Operator, please. Okay, you can try it. Mr. Hussein. Try it again.
Okay. Can you see that?
Okay, we can see. Okay, please. Yes.
I will share with you the results of our rubberized asphalt pilot road trial in Kuwait. And with the humility, I'm honored to meet you in this conference. First, in Kuwait, we suffer, unfortunately, from a number of asphalt pavement distresses, where they manifest in our road as fatigue, cracking, and rutting, bleeding, potholes, and raveling. There are primary causes that vary from one site to another. And another issue we have here in Kuwait is that we have a major environmental obstacle with a large waste tire dump that currently hold over 25 million scrap tires. A good thing is that contractors are currently recovering the buried tires and cutting them into large pieces, which are being transported and stored to another site. The major objective in this project was to optimize a high-performance rubberized hot mix asphalt as a competitor to polymer-modified asphalt (PMBs), with using locally sourced material, which are 60-70 pen-grade Kuwaiti bitumen and the chrome rubber sourced from this discarded tires from the tire location. Let me note first that in 2019, the state of Kuwait introduced a new and approved specifications that encourage the adoption of performance graded polymer modified binders, the BMBs, and superpave mix design. The materials the materials used for this project. First, the crumb rubber was blended with 60-70 pen grade bitumen to produce a rubberized asphalt. Then this blend was converted into a pelletized form that's called a pellet pave, you can see. And this process is patented by a USA technology provider. It's called Phoenix Industries. One advantage of the pellet pave is that it can be introduced directly into the mixer at the asphalt plant during the asphalt production process, and as partial substitute to bitumen content. Key properties, and another thing we used, we formulated several Gabbro trial blends. The source of all Gabbro aggregates were from the United Arab Emirates, and the properties of all coarse and fine aggregate satisfy the new Kuwaiti specifications that I mentioned earlier. The design gradation were all in compliance with Type 3 wearing coarse hot mix asphalt and with nominal maximum aggregate size of 19 millimeters. For each of the trial asphalt mix blend, the aggregate blend, we analyzed the key properties, just like the aggregate effective and bulk specific gravities, volume of observed binders and voids in mineral aggregates. And the blend that satisfied all the asphalt mix volumetric requirements had dose, particle, size distribution, as you can see. This is the properties of the coarse aggregate we have used in this table. Then the next step, then introduced the pellet pave plus 60-70 pen grade bitumen to the optimum aggregate blend to produce the rubberized asphalt. And then now our objective at this stage was to determine the optimum combination of pellet pave and 60-70 pen bitumen to satisfy key volumetric and compaction properties for the new specifications. In order to do that, we used a gyratory compactor to compact the rubberized hot mix asphalt blends. The compaction effort was selected as suitable for a route expected to carry medium to heavy traffic. As you can see here, the parameters, the initial design and maximum gyratory compaction effort was preset at initial at 8. The end design was at 100 and the end max 160 gyrations respectively. The mixing temperature was at 180 degrees Celsius and the compaction temperature was at 157 and 158 degrees Celsius. This curve, you see that this is the mixed densification curve for 3 rubberized hot mix asphalt, which all of them are containing 3% pellet pave by mass of total mix. The 60-70 pen bitumen content was gradually increased from 1.75 to 2.5 in order to assess impact on mix volumetrics. However, we did not achieve the acceptable compaction profiles. Voids were too high and they failed to satisfy the newly adopted Kuwaiti specifications. And also during the mixing in laboratory, we had some challenges where this pellet pave did not disperse adequately and uniformly throughout the asphalt mix, even after several minutes of continuous high temperature mixing. So therefore, we have decided to produce alternative blends at reduced pellet pave content The newly introduced pellet pave content was 2.5% of pellet pave at varying bitumen content that ranges from 3.25 to 4.85 by mass of total mix. And then finally, the 2.5% pellet pave content plus the 4.55 satisfied the void requirement. The overall binder content was 7.05, which in this case is considered a binder-rich mix compared to typical non-rubber modified mixes. Binder-rich mixes are more durable to environmental exposure, where it could provide better resistance to water stripping and oxidation. Due to thicker binder, it has a potential to reduce the mix resistance externally applied shear stresses. In order to assess the mix performance to both water and rutting, we carried out the wheel tracking test at 6 in compliance with ASH2 T324. But unfortunately, the results indicated that it is susceptible to high temperature rutting, as you can see in the black line. As you can see in this black line, it reached a 12 millimeter rut depth at almost 10,000 cycles. This means that the mix would not be ideal for medium to heavy traffic loads. It could be ideal for low traffic roads. However, visually, the tracked specimens did not reveal any binder stripping, which was a very positive indicator. As a result of this failure, we investigated an additional variation on the optimized mix, the 2.5% plus the 4.55%, by replacing the 60-70-10 bitumen component by the same max of polymer modified bitumen. The objective was to assess the capability of pellet pave mixes to be designed for heavily traffic roads. We carried another wheel tracking test at the same parameter and the tensile strength ratio (TSR) in compliance with the T283. The new mix satisfied the new adopted specifications super pave requirement for both rutting and stripping, as well as for tensile strength. Then we moved to make the pilot road. We wanted to try this mix practically in the field, and in order to do that, we want to assess the performance of the optimized pellet pave rubberized asphalt during full-scale production, transportation, paving, and compaction operation. See, this is the picture when we had done the mix. The road length was 450 meters long and was divided into 3 sections. The first section was 100 meters in length. It contained the rubberized hot mix asphalt with a pellet pave content. And the second section, it was 140 meters in length. It had super pave hot mix asphalt with the polymer modified binder. And the third section, it was 210 meters in length. It had conventional Marshall hot mix asphalt with polymer modified bitumen. The core, we have extracted the cores from each section to measure air voids and density. You can see that the range of voids here section, and they all satisfy the specifications required.
Mr. Hussein, time is over.
Okay. can I say the conclusion for the?
Yes, the conclusion, maybe.
Yes, overall, the stability of asphalt mixes were within the results. We visually inspected the road for a year. We had no visible sign of distress, and we carried out a falling weight deflectometer after 1 year of traffic with no significant difference in deflection. The performance of the 3 sections have been indistinguishable. And thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hussein. Is there any question from the audition? Okay, I will ask you, Mr. Hussein, how far is the advantage of using rubberized asphalt mix related to the weather and quiet?
Can you repeat that, please, Doctor?
Okay. What is the how far is the advantage of using rubberized asphalt mix, like your research, related to the weather in quiet? The weather. Thank you.
Yes, so far it has done well. We wanted to assess the environmental benefits with getting rid of dust with hard tires. The stability showed marvelous results. We visually inspected the roads, and so far we haven't seen any single sign of distress. So as far as I know, we're still monitoring the road, and this technology might be applicable for further investigation in much heavier traffic roads in Kuwait.
Thank you. Another question maybe from audience, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Aristiawan.
Okay, Assalamualaikum, Mr. Hussein.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Mr.
I'm very glad you are here.
I'm glad.
Okay, yeah, okay. I already read in the chat room, but maybe I will ask you directly, please. First of all, congratulations on the result from the trials, making sure that all of the type is indistinguishable. It means that all quite similar. Okay, so what is actually the advantage of adding this pallet pave?
Okay, please, Mr. Hussein.
Can you say that again? It was cutting off.
The advantage of adding the pallet pave into your mixture.
Advantage. It has a pretty good advantage, actually. And one of the advantages that I mentioned, it can be introduced directly to the mixture at the asphalt plant during the asphalt production process, as a possible substitute to the bitumen content. Also, one more thing, the storing of the pellet pave, it can be stored just like any regular aggregate. You don't need this big chambers or drums to store it inside.
Yeah. Okay. It means that you only use 2.5% of the bitumen, of the bitumen. Do you think it will solve the problem of,
That's all of the pellet pave. Yes.
Yeah, the pellet pave. You only use like 2.5%. Okay.
Yes. That was the best combination.
Yes, I know. So how it can solve the problem of a lot of the tire rubber, the waste tire rubber in your country? How much? I mean, how many kilogram, how many tons they are available, and how many kilogram you use in your asphalt mixture? It really solves the problem?
If you want to measure it on a wider road network, of course, it's going to be viable and it's going to be very beneficial, especially when we are talking about rubber tires, scrap tires. We have around 25 million graveyard. They're just huge, and they're being like an environmental obstacle to country.
Okay.
And resource you could do with them anything, you know, from recycling to tiles, to you can add them with the bitumen. Yes, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, okay, it's good. How the considerations about the cost? Is it because we don't understand, we don't have any idea how much is the pellet pave, because this is like the company production and we have to buy in the pellet pave. It is not your own productions.
See, right now we're trying to find private investors that are willing to bring and import the technology from outside to
Yes.
process this scrum rubber and convert it into the pellet pave form. And in terms of economical feasibility, by the end we are delivering the science and showing these private investors that see this technology is going to solve a lot of a problem, from environmental to mechanical distances in the roads. However, we're still in the process of negotiating with the private firms in order to convince them to invest. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay. I got your opinion. What do you think? It is better to use this like the rubber, the waste scrum rubber, as the bitumen or as the aggregate replacement? What do you think?
It's as the bitumen. As
the bitumen.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. My regards to Dr. Zurup, Salah Zurup, ya. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ari.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ari, and thank you, Mr. Hussein. And I think it's enough for the presentation of Mr. Hussein. And we will go to the next presenter. Is there any Mr. Muhammad Ali Basir or Mr. Skamta? Is there in this room? Oh no. Okay. Okay. The last presentation, we will go to the invited speaker, Dr. Alfredo Satyanaga from Nazarbayev University, Kazakhstan. And I will read the curriculum vitae of Mr. Dr. Alfredo Satyanaga. His career is as an assistant professor, School of Engineering. I'm sorry. Dr. Alfredo Satyanaga is currently as an assistant professor of civil and environmental engineering at School of Engineering and Digital Science, Nazarbayev University. He has obtained a PhD degree in geotechnical engineering from Nanyang Technology University, Singapore, and MSc degree in geotechnical engineering from Newcastle University, United Kingdom, and BEng degree in civil engineering from Maranatha Christian University, Indonesia, Bandung. He has 25 years of working experience in consulting, teaching, and research in civil engineering, and he previously worked as postdoctoral senior research fellow in School of Civil and Environmental Engineering, Nanyang Technology University. He served as a consultant on various projects to several engineering firms in Singapore, Australia, and Indonesia. He is graduate member of Institution of Civil Engineering UK, Geotechnical Engineering Society of Singapore, member of Geotechnical Engineering of ICRMCE, and member of Geotechnical Engineering Society of Indonesia, or HATI. Dr. Alfredo has conducted extensive research on smart system for application in building, geotechnical structure, and for its application to sustainable urban living in tropical regions, including Singapore. Recent research of Dr. Alfredo activities involve the development of new sustainable retaining structure, geobarrier system, GBS, through laboratory and numerical analysis and instrumented system in the field. For this great achievement, Minister for National Development Singapore has awarded MND or RND Award 2017, Special Mention Award for Stability Assessment of Slope Covered with Mangrove along Punggol Waterway using Unsaturated Soil Mechanic Principle. Dr. Alfredo has published over 100 technical publications. He has presented his research works in over several invited lectures and short courses in various countries. He co-authored the textbook Unsaturated Soil Guideline, Volume 1, that is soil water characteristic curve for material classified according to the United Soil Classification System by Kamercher and al. And published by Australian Center for Geomechanics. Okay, we will follow the presentation of Dr. Alfredo Satyanaga. Please, brother.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to present our research work in the prestigious international conference, which is the fifth conference of ICRMCE. Our research work has a title of Internet of Things and Intelligent Building System for Building Management. My name is Alfredo Satyanaga, Assistant Professor from Nazarbayev University. And my co-authors is Dr. Abdul Halim Hamdani from NTU Singapore, Dr. Martin Wijaya from Parayangan Catholic University Indonesia, Dr. Aslam Hussein, Monash University Malaysia, Associate Professor Chai Chen, Southeast University China, Chow Tat Nong from Heriot Watt University Singapore. So the content of my presentation will include 4 sections: background, methodology, result and discussion, and conclusion. So we will start from the background. We know exactly that management of building is necessary, especially if we want to do a renovation or modification of our building. As a result, there is a need to have a proper communication because when we are doing renovation, so definitely not only one discipline, but we know that we may need to contact architect, engineer, construction, and also the owner itself. So oftenly the challenge of building management is the groups aren't talking the same language. I mean, there are no proper communication between each discipline. As a result, there is a need to have a high quality software which can consolidate all aspects in building management system. We want to ensure a proper communication through the walls during renovation, retrofits to enable a living, breathing building model that works for all parties throughout the life cycle of the building. So we know Internet usage is increasing steadily over the years. The Internet of Things, or IoT, is a concept initially introduced by MIT, which is linked to RFID and electronic product code in 2014. The IoT consists of integrated sensors and devices combined into everyday objects that are connected to the Internet, which can be accessed from anywhere, on any time, and linked over fixed and wireless sensor networks. So typical IoT architecture is shown in this particular slide. So according to Wang 2010, there are 3 categories of definition for intelligent building in terms of performance, services, and system. IoT plays a significant role when building come into smart and intelligent. Traditionally, there has been no reason to connect the internet to automation system for the building. HVAC, lighting, fire protection, and other systems are functioning on their own. The question is why IoT needs to be introduced into traditional building management system. IoT can access and control the system efficiently using open access platform, such as using application. For example, Smart Chiller System allows maintenance engineer to monitor the chiller sequence, energy usage, and chiller performance. from his mobile tablet without even going into the chiller plant room and can control the maximum comfort level while staying at home. Smart security system automatically opens the door access without using an access card or ID by using a facial recognition system. The intelligent lighting system can control the brightness and texture of the lighting fitting using a mobile application. So the application of IoT on smart building is shown in this particular figure. The International Energy Agency states by 2040, digitalization could save around 10% of total energy consumption in residential and commercial building. IoT enable HVAC system can switch equipment on and off automatically at predefined times, monitor environmental condition, and send warnings when measurements exceed threshold and provide energy consumption information. The previous study also shows that smart HVAC systems are an integral component of smart homes and buildings, where appliances and systems share information and learn from one another to provide a more sustainable and comfortable lifestyle. So the diagram of smart HVAC system can be seen in this particular slide. As a result, based on this background, the aim of our study is to examine the people perception on the feasibility, effectiveness, benefit, and challenges in implementation of the IoT into management of commercial building, considering its complex nature of building management operation in Singapore. So our methodology consists of mixed method. The first one is the quantitative collection data. We use a questionnaire survey with closed-ended question, and then we distribute the online survey platform using Google Form, seeing this particular pandemic situation. So we divide our survey into 4 parts. So the first part is general question. The next one is IoT and facility management or building management operation and adoption of IoT into facility management operation, improvement on current situation. So before we distribute the survey, we do the pilot survey. So we use this particular equation to calculate the actual sample required. So we use the table from Saunders et al. In page 2081 to 2083. So in total, there is 113 sampling size required to achieve 95% of confidence level and 5% margin of error in population size of 100 target population with 70% response rate. We also use relative index analysis for Likert equation question based on this particular equation. So a total of 115 survey questionnaires to selected participants from different building management organization. The next one, we also use a qualitative collection data based on interview. So we interview 5 experts in building management with working experience more than 15 years. And the working organization also, most of them is property and asset management wheels, which will be useful for this particular study. So we now move into the result. So we can see this is the result from questionnaire survey from the personal or general question. So most of them, 71% is working in the property or facility management. So it shows that a good quality of our survey. And also the most one, the blue one, we can see here has a working experience more than 15 years. So this is the result, the example of the result from questionnaire survey in part B. So in this particular question is basically designed as a multiple choice question format with a series of predetermined answer with features of intelligent building. So more than 50% of the respondents are well aware of the intelligent building feature. This question tested the understanding of respondents against the IoT system through multiple choice question. The results show satisfactorily, and more than 50% of the answer describes that intelligent buildings are multi-building system connected through combined sensor network by choosing all the available answer. This question is follow-up check to understand more on recent IoT implementation that deploy in FM organization. The result revealed that expected outcome, which 52% of the respondents answered that their organization completed the implementation of the smart energy monitoring system that can monitor and optimize the building energy usage. It was in line with the Smart Nation initiative of Singapore, which entire country was relatively small, with limited energy resources, and the government keeps promoting for energy saving perspective on all aspects of FM operation. The result has shown that smart HVAC system and smart lighting control system is the second highest rating with 36% and 39%. So this is the example of the result from a question survey part C. Four main issues are coming out when addressing the main challenges of implementation IoT into building management operation. So from the building management perspective, it can describe implementation cost, data security, competence, the officer of building management, and continuity of individual IoT system. So we can see from this particular result, almost all the respondents, 94% feedback about the implementation cost will be the main issue that the organization will face when introducing the IoT concept. And this is the example of the result from part D. There are positive result of 0.844 and 0.839, question 19, question 20 in this particular table. Respondents strongly agree on the adoption of IoT concept will change a way of building management work, as well as help to manage the building management operation. Now we move into the result from interview. So this is the example of the one of the question from the interview. What will be the main criteria of the building management company should do to promote IoT in daily FM life? So in summary, there are basically positive result. So in a longer run, IoT will show the result of cost effective and efficiency. So that's the important one. And then owner and developer need to engage the company that can provide one-stop solution in order to compete for the market demand. The building management company also must not be averse to technology, particularly IT, to start with operation. It must already have IT-based operation infrastructure. And then creating awareness and training is also important because this is a new technology. And then FM company also should start to invest time and resources to tailor-make IoT solution in the FM industry. So in conclusion, IoT enables building or intelligent building that provide highly efficient, comfortable, convenient, and safe environment for user and society. Survey result revealed that implementation of IoT into commercial building management was feasible in the sense that some organizations are already adopted the IoT concept into FM operation. An intelligent building can save maintenance and operation costs by optimization of the management process efficiently and effectively. IoT enables building can optimize its energy usage as well as control the multiple system in a better way by predicting the fault algorithm to prevent intensive downtime from maximizing the operational efficiency. And FM organization need to do a proper ROI analysis to justify the initial investment by presenting business case of the organization that successfully implement IoT concept. Thank you very much. So hopefully this study will be useful for the building management, especially with respect to IoT application for efficient and sustainable building management. Good day, everyone.
Okay, thank you. That is the presentation of Dr. Alfredo Satyanaga and an audience since the invited speaker was unable to attend. So we only the video was shown, and question can be sent via email. Furthermore, the entire audience asked to turn on the camera for the documentation need. And don't forget to fill in the form of presence section. Please on the camera. Mr. Operator, maybe you can take. Okay. Operator.
Okay. I will count to 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, once more. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Operator. And then we, after the parallel section in this afternoon, we will back to the main room for closing and awarding ceremony. Our presenter, we asked to return to the main room for closing and ceremony. And as the moderator, I want to thank for our presenter, and I forget if any speaking or another fast. I want to thank for all and thank you. This parallel session is, and thank you very much. Good afternoon. And we will go to the main room. Okay, thank you. Operator, it's on the ICRMCE 05, yeah?
Yes, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, thank you. We can leave this session, this parallel session, and go to the main room. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Respectively. We hope that the ongoing conference will be a success and will serve as a positive step forward in the future. Stay healthy, and we look forward at the conference.
The Civil Engineering Study Program, University of Mataram, was born on November 8, 1991. The Department of Civil Engineering is supported by field of expertise of lecturers is divided into 5, 4 which are lab-based, plus the field of expertise in construction management. Until 2018, 2,243 civil engineering graduates have graduated. Civil Engineering Diponegoro University was established in 1958 to meet the needs of civil engineering experts in Semarang. The curriculum for the Bachelor of Civil Engineering program at Diponegoro University is designed so that graduates are able to understand the concepts. The Department of Civil Engineering Universitas Jember is part of its Faculty of Engineering. At this time, the Civil Engineering Undergraduate Study Program is accredited A by the National Accreditation Board for Higher Education. Universitas Jenderal Sudirman. The Department of Civil Engineering was established simultaneously with the Bachelor of Engineering program, which was the forerunner of the Faculty of Engineering, UNSUR. Civil Engineering UPN Veteran East Java has facilities in the form of 5 laboratories. Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. UMY's Civil Engineering Study Program is one of the first study programs held when Muhammadiyah University of Yogyakarta was established in 1981 and has received the accreditation of Grade A. Utama Karya is a construction company whose shares are 100% owned by the government of the Republic of Indonesia through the Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises or BUMN as shareholder. ADI's status as a limited liability company encourages ADI to continue to provide the best for every stakeholder during the development of ADI and the growing construction industry in Indonesia. The intensity of competition and price wars between the construction industries has made the company redefine its vision and mission. PT Waskita Karya Tbk, a state